Brent Almquist started working for the Oklahoma Department of Transportation in June of 1983 and has served in various capacities within the agency over his career. He assisted Will Snipes, the District 5 construction engineer, on the Diverging Diamond Interchange on I-40, exit 38 at Elk City, which was the first interchange of this type to be constructed in Oklahoma. Michael Sharkness is an engineering manager in ODOT's roadway design division. He's a registered professional engineer currently overseeing the design of projects in District 4. During his time with ODOT, he's worked on projects of varying sizes and difficulties, from rural bridge replacements on State Highway 34 in Woodward County to miles-long interstate projects on I-40 in Oklahoma County. Please help me welcome Brent Almquist and Michael Sharkness.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me? Yes? Okay, great. Perfect. The Diverging Diamond Interchange is a type of, a special type of interchange, or more complex type of interchange than a normal interchange. It can be used in a lot of different ways, or a couple different ways at least. It's best used in areas where your traffic flow is imbalanced one direction or the other. A good example of that would be at the extents of a metro area, say the edge of Oklahoma City, where there's a lot of people coming into Oklahoma City for work or coming home at the end of the day, and there's not as much going the other direction. It also assists in places where there is a lot of left turning movements, just in general. Specifically for this project, one of the big things we learned in designing it is that you don't need a ton of typical sections. There was a bit of miscommunication while we were doing the project, and we went from a handful to way too many. In the future, variability will help you quite a bit. For those who aren't necessarily familiar with how you move through a DDI, traffic, in this case northbound, is going to cross over to the otherwise southbound side, cross the crossing movement, and then come back to your northbound. And then traffic going the other way will do the reverse. This helps in a couple of different ways. Big things, especially as I mentioned for a lot of left turns, your traffic that's going northbound and then wants to go westbound on I-40 now doesn't have to cross the southbound traffic to do so. You get free flow onto the ramp and out. Then traffic that was coming from the west can do the same thing, or not the same thing, but can get into the same traffic flow and not have to cross the southbound traffic to get back there. Some more technical aspects to talk about for a minute. The crossover points, you want to get close to about 45 degrees. Don't have to be there exactly, but closer is better. That, coupled with the rest of the design, means that crash severity is lessened, and the number of crashes you expect to see is also reduced. So it's both safety and operations-based design. Some things you won't originally or not immediately see, because we're thinking about traffic and cars, is that you need to make sure that your pedestrian movements are also taken care of. People need to be able to cross from one side to the other on foot. You'll see later on this that we got there by putting pedestrians in the middle of the bridge so that east and west both funnel to the middle, cross, and then split again. Another thing that you need to be aware of is drainage. We need to make sure that water is flowing off the bridge and not pooling in places where pedestrians can't go, and not pooling in places where there's going to be cars. You'd think it's something that's always going to be there, but it's a little trickier in these designs. One thing to note also when you're looking at this is that this was a full new build. There were originally two bridges, a southbound and a northbound, that were grade separated. With the need to replace those, we came back, put in one bridge to handle all the traffic. There are times when you might decide you're going to work on a DDI and you need to retrofit it into the existing space you've got. So you'll have other considerations and concerns when you do that. That was the big things I wanted to hit on in terms of design and special operations. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Almquist to talk about the construction.
All right, very good, Michael. Very good introduction. Appreciate you very much. This project was designed by our ODOT roadway design team out of Oklahoma City. So definitely have a lot of friends in the audience that are consultants, but just a little plug for our ODOT roadway design team, also our ODOT bridge design team. At this time, it was Caleb Austin was the roadway design engineer. Steve Jacoby was the bridge engineer, and these guys did a fantastic job on the plans. And this is the first one in the state of Oklahoma, the Diverging Diamond Interchange, and didn't really know exactly how to do all the design work and put it on a set of plans that the contractor could bid, but they did an excellent job. So here's a picture of our Diverging Diamond Interchange. And I want to say thank you to a few people to start out with here just real quickly. Will Snipes, our construction engineer, he has some in-laws that live in Springfield, Missouri, and as we approached this interchange and what to do on the interchange, he remembered driving a few of these Diverging Diamond interchanges in Springfield, Missouri, which I think the very first one was built in Springfield. And he said, I think that would work, you know, in Elk City at exit 38 at the junction of I-40 and State Highway 6. So we got to looking into it. Some of the team made a trip to Springfield to look at it. Also like to thank Dax Sawyer, our resident engineer at the Clinton Residency. Jordan DeBuff, our assistant resident engineer at the Clinton Residency. Stan Hines, our project manager, project inspector, and Stan's with me here today. Stan, you might just raise up your hand real quickly. So Stan did an excellent job. And we always put Stan on the jobs that are the biggest, most difficult jobs in our District 5 out of Clinton, Oklahoma. So Stan did a wonderful job, and we appreciate him, all the coordination with the contractor, and the job really, I didn't really get any calls as the district engineer. Everything went smooth, the construction, the handling of the traffic, and everybody did an awesome job. Also, the city of Elk City, we had a partnership with all of the mayor, city manager, and then also the contractor did an excellent job. Frontier Bridge, Raymond Flatt and his guys were the prime contractor. Redland Construction did the concrete paving, the 10-inch Dow jointed concrete paving, which they won an award, the gold award at the concrete paving awards this year. So they did an awesome job. The thing that we had to deal with in Elk City was the left turns coming off the interstate were completely backing up the traffic all the way down the ramp to the interstate there. So on State Highway 6, we had to somehow be able to get the traffic onto State Highway 6 quicker. And so we looked at the Diverging Diamond Interchange, and what it does for you is it moves the left lane into the near lane as you come up to the end of the ramp. So when you make your left turn, instead of having to let all the northbound traffic clear and all the southbound traffic clear, you can just go immediately into your left lane. So that's the best thing. And then also on the right turn, it diverges right there, so you can also make your right turn. So the ramp traffic, with all the oil and gas traffic that all the trucks that are in Elk City with the oil and gas activity, all those semi-trucks were able to merge onto the near lane and make their left turn, and also the near lane on the right to make their right turn. So it's just been working fantastic. So give you a little data on the project. It was $16.4 million. And Will Snipes had a great idea. We actually paired this bridge with the North Fork of the Red River Bridge north of Sayre on US 283. So we bid a combined project. So we bid them separately originally, and that came in separately. You add the two prices together, you get $30 million. We bid them combined with the two bridges together, two in Elk City and one in Sayre, and we came up with $28 million. So we did some innovative bidding, did a kind of a combo project, and it really worked out good. The contractor started, actually is awarded in March of 2019. The work started in May 28th of 2019, and they were completed in September of 2020. And you remember back to 2020, we had the district engineers meeting at Clinton on March of 2020, and we had our meeting on a Thursday, and that Wednesday night is when they basically postponed the Thunder game. So we were starting to enter into the COVID aspect of the everything. And so at this time, the contractor did a great job working through the COVID issues, not only with their crew, but with the supply chain and trying to get things to the project site. And so they had to deal with all that. Also, Catherine Brown with the Elk City Chamber of Commerce wrote some letters on this project that actually were able to get some awards on it. And also, unofficially, before the project started, we were having about one accident a month on this particular interchange. Mainly it was the left turns. People, the semis would creep out there and they'd get into the median with the cab of their truck, and their trailer would extend back and block all the northbound lanes, and then people would just run into the trailer. And we were having an average of about one accident a month for the last several years. But then after we put the Diverging Diamond Interchange in, we have had no accidents since the life of this project. It's been about a year since this project has been in service, and we've had no accidents. So it's really flowing. The traffic is flowing. I was there yesterday to take a quick look at it again before the presentation today, and just flowed right through. And then, like I said, at the Oklahoma Concrete Paving Awards, we won the Gold Award for the concrete paving in the state roads category. And then also, the bridges are up for the Fayro Award for the best bridge in the state of Oklahoma. So the Raymond Flatt and the guys from Frontier Bridge are up for that award. We'll see how we do on that as far as the Fayro Award this year. And then also, it's also up for the America's Transportation Award too. So it's up for that particular award also. And then also, we were able to get $1 million for a Accelerating Innovation Demonstration Deployment Grant through the FHWA to try this innovation in our state of Oklahoma. So we picked up $1 million, and not sure if that's been deposited yet. I haven't really talked to the accountants and everything, so but we'll have to find out, exactly where that $1 million went into the general revenue fund, or if that went back to District 5. I'm not sure, so we'll find out on that. But and also, Brian, I just want to thank Brian Cooper. He put together the PowerPoint presentation too. So Brian, thanks, man, for doing that. I appreciate you very much. So just a few pictures. I've got quite a bit of information on the DDI, but the existing bridges had a grade differential averaging about 4 feet between the north and southbound lanes. The work necessary to correct these grade differentials and maintain I-40 clearance meant that the ramp terminals and large portion of the roadway would need to be reconstructed just with the basic bridge replacement. Upon looking at the existing geometry of the interchange, it was determined that a significant improvement to traffic flow and safety could be made by converting the existing interchange into a DDI with minimal added cost to our effort. And like Marcy was saying this morning, identifying solutions, being proactive in that. So we learned this morning on the presentations to get the information, to be proactive, identifying solutions that'll work, and that's what we did on this project. So it was a great design team. It was a great thing from the district headquarters level. The senior staff backed us, and we appreciate them. And then it turned into just a great project. This is a little bit more information today because this is more of a actual project, and we can see the actual results. So it's just an awesome project there in Elk City. Our Highway Commissioner, David Dyson, is very proud of it. And we've had several Rotary Club meetings and Kiwanis Club meetings at Elk City, and they're all enjoying the work of the Diverging Diamond Interchange over there. We did receive a little bit of pushback from the Facebook crowd sometimes, where people are looking at their computers or making a comment, and then like when I would talk to them and ask them, hey, let's go out there and visit the project, let's go look and see what you're talking about. A lot of times, they wouldn't really want to come out there and look at the actual situation. They just kind of make a comment on Facebook. So the Facebook is really good, but sometimes we can kind of get bogged down into what some of the critics are saying when they don't have the right information. But it's been accepted by Elk City. They love it. It's doing a great job. It's functioning. It's basically cut out the accidents that we've been having. So it's just an awesome project. So let's see here. I think that's all the information that I actually had. I think we're going to open it up for any questions. If anybody has questions or anything, or we'll try to talk about that a little bit. And there's some more planned, too. There's one going to be at I-35 and Waterloo Road up in the Edmond area. And then I think there's another one planned, I think maybe in Tulsa. So they are catching on. There's about 100 nationwide. We have one built in Oklahoma, and it's working great. And there's going to be some more following. So we're looking for many more years of useful service there in Elk City with our Diverging Diamond Interchange. We're very proud of it. Any questions or comments or anything? Yes.
I was just curious, how compact can they be made for like in an urban environment? Because I know Garthworks Boulevard underneath I-40 in Yukon, I would think that a DDI would work well there, but I don't know if there's enough of a footprint in that area for a DDI to fit. And I was just kind of curious because what's like the minimum footprint that is needed for them to still be effective?
Yeah, that's a good question. We actually built this project on the existing footprint. We didn't even have to buy any right-of-way at Elk City, so it fit on the existing Diamond Interchange footprint. So, and the ramps we kept open during the construction. They had to sometimes build kind of a temporary to get the traffic around, but we had to build it half at a time, basically to maintain traffic, because it is a busy interchange, and those businesses demanded that they be able to, that the people be able to visit their business and be able to shop there or eat there or stay overnight or whatever. But I'm not real familiar in that district as far as Garth Brooks. That's not really not my area as far as District 5. But Michael might know a little bit about that. I'll let him talk about that just a little bit.
As Mr. Almquist said, in terms of footprint, you probably don't need a huge footprint, so it might be viable, but there's other factors to consider before we would go ahead and do that. So.
Looks like Dr. Zamon's got a question.
Yeah, I do, Brent, always, right? So, now you mentioned, I have a couple of points based on what you just said. So first of all, what are the criteria for, this is a very innovative solution, because you said that you had one accident every month, right? That's
right.
So, and you are able to certainly, and you did not have any accidents since you opened this to traffic, right?
That's right.
That's a great thing. But, and you also talked about bundling. So if you did not, and not that every project you could bundle, right? So, and then also what are the other criteria that would make a diverging diamond interchange a good candidate?
Well, we've heard, we did the research on it, and we looked at it, and according to Missouri DOT, the survey shows that 97% of drivers feel safer in the new Springfield DDI compared to the previous Diamond Interchange. So that's a little information that we dug up before we did the project, some research information. Crash data for the new Springfield DDI show a 60% reduction in collisions in a 5-month comparison of the old interchange. And also, Missouri DOT survey shows that 95% of drivers felt that there was less congestion in the new Springfield DDI compared to the previous Diamond Interchange. And then daily traffic backups that sometimes had over a mile queue were completely eliminated once the construction of the new Springfield DDI was complete. So we did talk to some officials at the Missouri DOT, drove some of the DDIs, researched the information, and in this particular example, everything came true. I mean, it does. There's less conflict points. It just was fantastic so far of what we've seen. So in fact, here it says fewer conflict points, 14 for a DDI, 26 for a conventional. So I mean, this new technology and it's a tool in the toolbox. We're not going to put them everywhere in our district, and I don't think anybody's going to put them everywhere, but they certainly have a fit, especially for left turn problems. If you're having like a lot of semi trucks going down the ramps and to make those left turns and trying to make those lefts, it really does help.
Are the signals controlled by laser versus loop or timed?
I believe these are Stan can help me, it's a camera. I believe these are cameras. So camera detection, video detection. Oh, it's a loop. Is it a loop, Dan? Okay, it's a loop. Sorry, it's loop. That's why I brought the inspector along, because the inspectors, they know for sure. Stan, thanks, man.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks for having us today.